Okay, today we're going to be talking about tables and expressions. A lot of times you'll have some sequences, a sequence of terms, and they want you to figure out what the rule is, how do they find each term, and then maybe what is the 25th term or the 100th term or whatever the case may be. A lot of times it's easiest to put these into a table, and when you put them into a table, you would have an X and a Y. This would be your first term, your second term, your third term, your fourth term. 11 is my first term, so it goes with the 1. 12 is my second term, so it goes with the 2. 13 is my third term. 14 is my fourth term. So I ask myself, what did we do to 1 to get 11? Well, it looks like they could have possibly added 10. So that means that X plus 10 should give me my next term. Well, let's see. This was for position 1, and 1 plus 10 is 11. That means when I put in position 2 plus 10 is 12, I should get a 12, and I did. When I put in position 3, I get 3 plus 10 is 13. This is my rule. X plus 10 is going to work every single time. So that means that Y is equal to X plus 10. Well, what if I wanted to know what the 100th term was? Well, that means that I can just replace X with a 100, add 10, and I will discover that my 100th term will be 110. Okay, let's try another. Again, let's go ahead and put this into a table. We're going to make that X, Y, X being my position, first position, second position, third position, fourth position, Y being the result. So in the first position, or term 1 is 4, term 2 is 8, term 3 is 12, term 4 is 16, ... So again, the question is, what did I do to X to get Y? What did I do to the number 1 to get a 4? Well, it looks like I added 3. X plus 3. Not 3. Yes, X plus 3 equals 4. Well, let's see. Is 1 plus 3 4? Yes. But is 2 plus 3 8? No, it's 5. That means that we could not have added 3 each time. So I need to look for a different pattern. Okay, well, if I didn't add, then what did I do? Well, my number is getting bigger, so my choice is going to be add or multiply. What could I do to the 1 to get a 4? Well, I could multiply it by 4. So in position 1 times 4, I get a 4. Let's see what happens when I put a 2 in for X. 2 times 4 is 8. That works. How about 3 times 4? 3 times 4 is 12. That works as well. Well, what if I wanted to know what position 100 was? Instead of putting in a 1, a 2, or a 3 for X, I would put in a 100. 100 times 4 is 400. My 100th term would be 400. Okay, so let's look at one more type of pattern that we might come across. And here, I have my X and my Y, position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4. Term 1, position 1 is a 3, position 2 is a 5, a 7, a 9. Again, I'm going to go back to asking myself, what did I do to 1 to get 3? Well, the number's increasing. So that means I'm going to multiply or add, sorry. My first instinct is to add 2. So X plus 2. That means when I put in a 1 and I add 2, I get a 3. Well, what happens when I put in a 2, though, and I add 2? I'm going to get 4, but they're saying that I need a 5. So that doesn't quite work. So I need to look at this again. Well, I could multiply by 3. 1 times 3 is 3. That works. But what happens when I put in a 2? I'm going to get 6. I need a 5. That means I have to come up with a combination of things. I'm probably going to add, subtract, multiply, divide. I'm going to do a couple of different things here. Well, the way that you figure out these problems is you determine what the relationship is from 3 to 5. So the relationship between your y values. They're adding 2. Well, 5 to 7, they're adding 2. 7 to 9, they're adding 2. They're adding 2 every time. That means that they're going to multiply x times 2. Well, again, if I put in a 2 and I put in position 1 for x, that's going to get me up to 2. I need to get to 3, though. If I add a 1, that would get me to 3. What if I did 2x plus 1 every time? Would that work? Well, let's try it. How about 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. You'll notice position 2. I need a 5. I got a 5. What about 2 times 3 plus 1? 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. Again, position 3. I multiplied it by 2. I added 1. And I got a 7. That's going to work. Our rule for this particular table is 2x plus 1. So I'm looking at that 100th term. I replace x with 100, so that's 2 times 100 is 200 plus 1. My answer is going to be 201. My 100th position will be 201.